Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We're a minute behind, but we'll go ahead and get started. Appreciate you joining us today for another HR Corner. Today's Writing Job Ads. I'm Steve Schillig, the moderator, director of the SBDC, headquartered at Kent State University, Tusk. The SBDC, if you're not familiar with the Small Business Development Center, provides direct consulting, offers workshops. It's all done on a confidential basis, and there's absolutely no charge to our clients. We have specialties, specialists in marketing, food service, leadership, QuickBooks and bookkeeping, finance and accounting, and HR, which is what we're happy to present today because of that. So again, those resources are available to you on a confidential, no-cost basis. This workshop is being offered to provide some hands-on HR training. Pleased to have on the call today Joanna Forbes. Joanna has 20 years of human resource experience in various industries, including healthcare, manufacturing, food and restaurant service, and nonprofits. She is certified HR professional with the Society of Human Resource Management. Joanna owns and serves as the chief HR consultant for Forbes Human Resources, a local HR consulting firm, while also serving as an HR advisor for the SBDC, and we're so proud to have her as part of our team. Through the SBDC, she's available for direct assistance, so if you have specific questions that do not get answered today or you need additional help, please feel free to contact me or Joanna. Our contact information will be found later in the presentation. And if you have any suggestions or recommendations on other topics, whether they're HR or not, please feel free to contact me or mention it in the chat room. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Joanna.
Thank you so much, Steve. Yes, if this is the first time you've joined us for one of our HR Corners, these are shorter webinars. We usually have everything wrapped up within 30 minutes. They're not one of our long ones. And again, this will be recorded and it will be, all of the slides will be emailed to everyone today. So there's no need to write down anything that you see on the screen. You will be getting them. If you have any questions, please put them in and we'll get to them at the end. And just one disclaimer, I always like to point out that the information that we provide from the SBDC in our webinars are for informational purposes only, and it's current as of today's date. And always refer to your specific industry standards and regulatory agencies to stay compliant on any mandatory or recommended business practices. So let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about writing your job ads. So we're going to be going over the components of a job ad, some keywords, where to post those job ads, how to measure your results, and some final reminders. And again, we'll be wrapped up here by 12:30 for those of you that are on the call today. So first things first, we have to remember that our job ads, they're really sales, because we're really trying to sell what we're getting with the positions that we have to job seekers. So we need to talk about the culture of our organization, and we really need to identify in those ads what makes us unique and what is going to make us attractive. So not just for those job seekers, but for those passive job seekers. They're not really looking, but maybe they go on Indeed every once in a while just to see what's out there. You really want your job ad to stand out, so you're getting those for folks as well. Look how relaxed she is sitting there with her cup of coffee reading the job ads. So we're going to talk about where to put those ads as well, because not many of us do that anymore, right? So, and we have to remember that this is our first impression that the job seeker will have of us is this ad. And I was reading somewhere last week, it says that a person will skip over a job ad within 8 seconds if it's not just selling it to them immediately. So we really want to make sure that we come off the page quickly for those job seekers. Okay, so some of the job ad components, title, hours, location, example of daily activities, and we're going to dig a little deeper into all of these things here in a minute, but I just want to point these out so you have a nice list. Qualifications of what you're looking for and those benefits, and then a call to action, and we're going to talk about each of those specifically. So just some general tips. So the first thing we want to do is we want to stay away from just copying and pasting the job description. That's always first our kind of first of instinct, because we want to get all of those facts out there. You're going to be doing this and this and this. But really we want, again, think of it, you are selling the job. And let's face it, job descriptions are boring. They're not that exciting. And they're really just a list of functions. So we're trying to sell it a little bit more. Don't keep posting that same job ad over and over again if you're not getting any positive results. That is one thing we want to keep in mind. So if you're like, well, I keep putting this on Indeed, but I'm not getting any response, it's time to jazz it up a little bit. So we're going to talk about measuring results here at the end. And then again, you're not just looking for job seekers, you're also looking for those passive candidates. So we want to use some engaging words. We're going to show an example here in a minute of really how to get people to stop and say, I like that. And talk about the total rewards. Okay, so a lot of our clients at the SBDC specifically, they're not large clients. So they may not have a huge, 401k program or maybe a huge health insurance program, although most of them do. But if you're on the call today and you don't have those types of benefits that you can offer because maybe it's a seasonal position or it's a part-time position, you still want to talk about some of those other benefits. So, and right now, the biggest benefit that we're seeing is work flexibility. So that's the big one that we're seeing. So when you're talking about your benefits and your total rewards and your job ads, talk about the flexibility, the free lunch, if that's something, free parking, free uniform, job advancement opportunities, continuing education opportunities, cross-training on the job, all of the things that you can offer that maybe isn't part of that health insurance package that maybe you can't offer all of your employees. And then don't forget at the end to make sure you have some sort of call to action of how you're going to apply to that job. And we're going to talk about websites here in a second. And then just kind of keep those job ads between 600 and 900 words. In Word, if you type your ads in Word before you copy and paste them anywhere else online, right there, of course, you can do the word count to kind of make sure you're staying there. Okay, let's talk about being the candidate. Okay, because we really want to put yourself in their shoes, and you want those job seekers to picture themselves working for you. So instead of saying, the customer service representative answers the phone, discusses problems with clients, keeps notes in the service log, and marks tickets for the other representatives. Someone's going to read that and say, okay, that's what the customer service reps do. But if you write it with them in the position, you will be providing excellent customer service to our dedicated clients by assisting them on all of their service issues. Here at TechCom, you will be part of the team. We assist each other by keeping a current service log so you can easily track the service tickets and better contribute to your team and your clients. So that's even showing about the culture. We have a team environment here at TechCom. Our team, they're using we words, they're using you words. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be providing the excellent customer service. So it really lets the candidate picture themselves working in that position. And right off the bat, someone's going, well, TechCom sounds like a great place to work, right? We're going to be part of a team, and we're going to be providing excellent customer service. So just a side-by-side comparison there, so you can really see the difference in just those basic ways we flip the sentences. Okay, let's talk about job titles, because a lot of times what works internally may not quite come off the paper externally to anybody else that's searching for a job. So when we have these creative or catchy job titles at our place of work, and we go and we put them on job search engines or in ads on different places, they're not going to probably pull up when people are putting in. So if I'm searching for a customer service representative position, that's what I'm going to put in. I'm not going to put in client deals facilitator. And if I see client deals facilitator, I'm going to go, what? What's that, right? Because to sound like a customer service rep, even though that might be the catchy title that they use in-house. So keep that in mind when you're doing job ads. You want to use the standard title for the position, for all of the ads that you put out there online, for sure. You want those terms to be able to be easily pulled from other job search engines and from your job seekers that are typing them in. And if you want to call them client deals facilitator, once they start working for you, then you can. Let's talk about the right candidates, okay? Because we know about the wrong candidates and we want to get those right candidates. So in order to get what we call a good fit, we really talk about, again, the culture of the organization and what's going to make this employee successful. A successful customer service rep will. So somebody who is truly engaged with those types of positions, they want to know, how am I going to succeed? What's it going to be like working there? Be honest, because if it's a challenging job, tell them. It will attract those candidates who want to be challenged if they're ready to move on. If they're working at a call center right now and it's just one phone call after another and it's the same question and they're not being challenged at all, if they hear here at TechCom, you're going to be challenged trying to figure out, discovering mysteries for your clients and those types of things, that's going to sound attractive to them. And then you're going to be getting those right candidates that you want. And then I always like to point out, remember your company mission, whatever your company mission is, because you want to attract those candidates that want to genuinely contribute to that mission. And if you can tell them right off the bat in that job ad, hey, our mission is to, especially if it's a nonprofit, if you have a mission-based organization, provide clothing to, the homeless or something like that, you are going to want to say that right in there, how someone's going to be contributing to that, any sort of mission, and not just the nonprofit, the profit as well. Okay, let's talk about some ad words that can lead you in hot water. Okay, so it seems like, the more we move on with things, we start to get like real, sticky widgets about what we can say and what we can't say. But the reality is that you simply cannot put certain words in an ad, or it really can lead you into hot water. The biggest one would be anything that implies age. We're looking for a young, energetic worker, or we're looking for a retired person with time on their hands. You may have no ill intent when you say these things, and I'm certain that 99% of the companies don't have ill intent when they put things like this in ads. But the reality is that you are using discriminatory language when you're saying that you're looking for an energetic worker or you're looking for a retired person with time on their hands. You simply cannot imply, or in this case, you're not even implying, you're stating it, that you're looking for somebody of a certain age. We can't use words that imply gender, waitress, waiter. These terms have been around in our vocabulary in our country for many, many years, and they're probably not going anywhere anytime soon. We do still say them. But in your ads, you don't want to alienate one gender over another. So we want to use terms like server, and that really is the term now that most restaurants do use, or any sort of food service business. Because if you're looking for a server, but you put in your ad that you're looking for a waitress, that of course implies that you're looking for a female employee. And your male job seekers may just skip right past, even if they don't do it consciously. And then we cannot have any language in our ads that implies disabled candidates need not apply. And of course, this is against the Americans with Disabilities Act. So we can't have words in there like looking for an active, quick on your feet employee, even though that sounds catchy and sounds cool, because that's what the kind of culture that you want to show. We cannot say those types of things, because of course we're implying that somebody who is not able-bodied to be on their feet should not apply for the job. So these are just 3 examples of some ad words that can certainly land you in some hot water. So where can we advertise? So some common places that we advertise, of course, are job search engines. We're all very familiar with Indeed and ZipRecruiter and Career Builder and the likes of those types. I want to point out Google. Of course, you can search for jobs on Google now, and they are connected to ZipRecruiter. A lot of these sites will feed off of each other, but that one in particular will feed right from ZipRecruiter. Most people use Indeed. It's a free service. You can always pay to have your job go to the top with the sponsor, but of course you don't have to. You can just use the free service. So this is definitely the most popular place to advertise for jobs right now. Social media. You can use your social media platform, Facebook page, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever it is, social media that your company uses. I highly recommend that you put all of your open positions on there as well. And on there, you can sponsor as well. And by sponsor, I mean you're paying a little bit of a fee to these social media platforms for your ad to not just come to the folks that follow you, but come to a certain people on their Facebook page, even if they're not following you. So you can pay to do that. Always put your positions on your company website. If somebody's researching your company, they're going to look on there, and if they see that you have positions available, it shows that you're keeping the website current, and it also says a lot about your company as well, that your website is staying active and current. Okay, the good old-fashioned newspapers, are they still out there? Yes, they are. We can send our ads to newspapers, and they will be in that actual hard copy newspaper. But again, they will land on the newspaper's website, and most of those will link above to those job search engines. So it's kind of all connected. So if you do like to put jobs in the newspaper still, it should connect, and that's something you're going to want to ask your rep at the paper if it is going to land itself on one of the job search engines as well. The college and the trade school career services pages, great free resource to post all of your positions. I always recommend going there. Any sort of your networking group websites will have job search engines on them as well. Typically the Chamber of Commerce and those types of organizations might have something there. Any sort of industry specific website. So whatever your business industry is, if you have some industry specific website, and that I just put that as an example, the American Association of, whichever, those are great places to advertise as well. Organizations such as Ohio Means Jobs typically will have Pennsylvania, it's PA Career Link. They'll have a place for you to go ahead and post jobs. And then, of course, having job fairs and hosting any sort of hiring events is always a great thing as well. Of course, right now, most of those things are virtual, but they still exist. So these are all some great places to advertise for your jobs. And then, of course, don't forget about your internal postings. So we want to, employee bulletin boards, if you put it in a pay stuffer, on your company intranet, any sort of staff meeting, just putting it out there, text or email communication, whatever way you communicate with your staff. I know some organizations use apps, different communication apps, like that we use with our schools, and you can put them on there as well. A lot of organizations offer referral bonuses if they have somebody come in, gift card. You want to advertise as well if it's a promotional opportunity that somebody that works for you might be interested in, or maybe they're just looking for a new position at your company. And then I would recommend, it's not necessary, especially if you don't have a collective bargaining unit at your organization. If you have a collective bargaining unit, then you will have some sort of job posting policy. But non-union environments, I would recommend maybe posting something for 7 days. It doesn't necessarily have to be before you post it outside, but if it is a promotional opportunity, it's always great to offer that to your internal employees before you put it out there. And then don't forget to measure results. Where are your applications coming in from? Where are these candidates coming in? Ask them right on the application. And a lot of applications are online now, and it will say, where did you hear of this opportunity? Measure the responses from social media channels and any sort of online. They'll typically tell you right on there how many clicks you're getting and who's responding to what. Track the word of mouth and the internal referrals, and then look at those results over time and really try to measure that and see what worked. If you're putting things on social media and you're getting zero response to all of your social media posts, then I would probably stop sponsoring and paying for anything on there. Maybe just continue to use the free, but definitely just be mindful of your results and where these are coming in from. Okay, here's just some fun ads I wanted to just finish up with today and point out. So this one here, designers wanted. You got so much skill, it's falling out of your pockets. You think, well, yeah, I do have skill falling out of my pockets. You're sick of working for an uninspiring agency? Well, yeah, I am sick of working. So this type of ad is looking for those passive job seekers. They're looking for people who are like, oh yeah, I do feel that way. I would rather be a part of. So that's what they're selling there. There's not a lot on here about job duties and qualifications. That part would probably be, what you would get to next after you send your resume to this email address here. So that was a good example of really trying to attract those passive job seekers. I wanted to point this one out. This one really shows, what does success look like? So they're really trying to find those candidates who want to be successful and be part of a successful company. They're talking about employment branding there in the middle. We have world-class talent and our fans are awesome. They're really showing you what the culture there is at NPR. Flexing your sourcing muscles. They're really giving you somebody who wants to be successful and really join into the culture of this organization at NPR. So this was a great ad too that I wanted to share with everybody. So just some final reminders today as we wrap up. Again, put yourself in the shoes of a job seeker. What would they want to look like at your ad? Remember, they're going to make that decision whether or not they actually read your ad or click on it within 8 seconds. Be mindful of appropriate words. As much as we don't have ill intent by putting in words that imply anything, just be mindful of that. And then lastly, don't forget to kind of measure what works. So look back at your last few new employees, where are they coming in from, and really take advantage of what's working for you. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much. And I'll turn it back to Steve to see if we have any questions today. Before I do, I just want to point out our next HR Corner will be in a couple weeks, and we'll see if we have any questions from Steve.
Very good, Joanna. Thank you. Some really good information. I do have a question. I see sometimes in ads that say confidential and it doesn't have a company name listed. What's the benefit of that?
Yes. So I'm not particularly, as an HR person who's worked, in the corporate environment, I'm not really particularly a fan of using the term confidential, but typically when you see that, it's several reasons. And this one, is probably the worst one of all, but it's because someone is probably going to be let go from their position and they don't know it yet. So the company is putting the feelers out to see if there's anybody out there before they eliminate that person. That's one reason. A lot of times when it says confidential, it's through an agency, through a recruiter who's maybe putting some feelers out to see who's out there before the company really commits to using that agency or really commits to wanting to hire somebody because they kind of want to see what's out there. It could also, if it's a high-level position, a company might not want their competitors to know someone's leaving or retiring, or maybe their clients or their customers to know someone left. So there's a variety of reasons. So the benefit is just really only because of the confidentiality piece of it.
And this may not be relevant, but if it's through a recruiter and the confidential, is it fair as an applicant they ask immediately who that company is, or do you have to wait?
No, they can absolutely ask. Typically, once you do that and you move forward with applying for a position through an agency, at that point, sometimes the recruiter will even say, oh, it's such and so. They just didn't want to actually put it out there on the internet for everyone to see.
Okay, that was the last question that we have. I'll give everybody a minute, but as always, just a great job of boiling it down and giving us the pieces we need, and a reminder for those that are on the call that Joanna is available for direct assistance, especially if you're writing an ad or want somebody to peruse it before you actually submit it. So,
Yep.
okay, well, thank you. And you mentioned our next HR corner, so that's been taken care of. And I think we'll bid you goodbye and have a good afternoon.
All right. Thank you so much.
You.